This is the ROG Ally X 6 months later. Let's start with what I wanted from a handheld from the very beginning. And it starts back with Game Boy. I wanted all my games with me. I carried pockets full of games because I love the thought of having all my games accessible to me. Fast forward to PSP. I loved the PSP, one of my favorite devices I ever had, because of the fact I can bring my games with me. They're not just your little 2D Game Boy looking games. They were actually getting to the point where they were almost like PS2 looking games in a way, but they were downgraded. You would get a game on PSP and I expected it to be pretty much just like how it was on the console. For example, Scarface. I got Scarface on PSP. And when I tell you, you couldn't even get out and run around. It was one of those games where you send people to fight, one of them tactical overhead type games, whatever you call those. That's what was the downside of PSP. It was an amazing console, but it didn't have that console level of game, the game version. So today, we have the ROG Ally X. And when I tell you can play literally anything you throw at this thing, it can run it for the most part. Even hooking it up to a monitor, playing it on a monitor, using the mouse and key, hooking it up to 75-inch TV or bigger, it works. And the game is just like how it would be on console or a high-end PC. No downgrades other than graphics. You know, some you might have to compromise, and some work on ultra, on high settings. I had this device since day one, and I am highly pleased with this device. It works wonders. I even had the original ROG Ally from day one. And when I tell you, I barely touched the old one, because this one feels so much more refined and better, and the battery lasts a lot longer. So real quick, let's go over some of the features that made me want to get the ROG Ally X. Main thing was battery life. It comes with double the battery size, 80 watts. This gives me about 2 to 3 hours of gaming on a high-end game, a more demanding game. Lower-end games will last a lot longer, especially only using silent mode, which is 15 watts. So that was a big thing for me. Also, another thing was the analog sticks. They are more stiff, feel more like an actual controller. So it's easier to aim. It's don't feel so loose. Another feature was the RAM size. Comes with 24 gigs of RAM. Also, it has 2 USB-C ports. One big issue that they changed from the last ROG Ally was the placement of the SD card. So apparently, where the placement of the SD card was, it was overheating, causing the SD card to malfunction. So they moved it to a different location. And so far, there hasn't been any complaints of the SD card acting up or messing up. So for performance, this device performs extremely well, especially for big AAA games for such a small device. Call of Duty, you can get that game to run anywhere from 60 to 100 plus FPS when optimized correctly, of course. And you can use other features that helps your frames, like fluid motion frames. For certain games, it's best to run settings at low, but if it's well optimized and you know how to get a few at high, low, medium, and really optimize it out, you can have better settings. But a lot of games sometimes have to run on low to run good. Like, for example, Indiana Jones. You get about 30 to 40-ish FPS with that game. But using fluid motion, you could probably get it optimized to get better FPS. Games like Ride, I can run that game on high settings and still get about 60 FPS or more. Another game that I can run on ultra settings and still get 60 plus FPS is Devil May Cry. That game runs extremely well. So some games you can run on high, some you gotta run on low, and some it can be mixed. But this thing is a beast, and it runs games very, very well. And to be able to do that on a handheld device amazes me every day. So me being so big on handhelds, I am in love with handheld PCs because I'm allowed to play whatever I want, from emulating games to Xbox, PlayStation games to PC games. I have no limits. So that's why I'm so involved with handheld gaming. It is a perfect gift for even Christmas. So now I will touch on the design. The design is so much better. It feels much better in the hands. Analog sticks feel much like a controller. So aiming is a lot better on this handheld device. The triggers are a lot wider, so you got more room to work with when pulling the triggers. This is just overall a more comfortable feeling in the hands versus the last ROG Ally. You can tell they really put some thought into it and actually wanted to make this device a lot better than the first. So now, the most important part for me, battery life. This device is so much better on battery life. It's shocking. The regular ROG Ally, I felt like whenever I played that somewhere, I needed to plug it in at all times because it don't last that long. It lasts about an hour for high demanding games. Lower demanding games, yes, you can get a lot more time out of it, but I like to play all type of games, AAA games, so that kills the battery so fast. And even when it just sitting there being on, it seems like it just shut off after an hour of it just sitting there almost. The ROG Ally X is so much better on battery life. I don't plug it up. As you can see in my videos, I don't usually have the ROG Ally X plugged in. On all my videos with the ROG Ally regular, with the regular ROG Ally, you see it plugged in. I did do that because I like to get the best out of the device, but at the same time, another reason was because battery life. Didn't want to have to fight with trying to keep it charged. I just kept it plugged in. You want to be able to go out and not have to keep it plugged in at all times. Yes, 2-3 hours isn't that much, but it's a lot better. And it's probably one of the most powerful devices that lasts the longest. So it's just a few things I want to touch on and give my 6-month review on this device. I say it was well worth it. If you're thinking about getting a handheld device, this would be the perfect device to get, especially for Christmas coming up or just for yourself. If you want a good experience with a gaming handheld that can play all type of games, from small indie games to big AAA games, this is the device for you. I am highly pleased with the ROG Ally X, and I highly recommend it. Till next time, we out.
People want to be led, I want to be in charge. Win-win.
Fools! Do you
30 seconds before you attack.
stop my
Get
grand
ready.
scheme? We're in this together, Tandy Bowen. Get the stars out of your eyes and let us fight.
You can't be that old.
Asgard has been invaded yet again. It is a mighty quest. Loki shall prevail. Let's pop back up under the numbers.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Help get that vehicle to its destination. I'm hurt. I suck.
A shortcut. Tandy needs help.
Hurry up. There's my step.
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Loki can't get more zapped. It's that simple.
Powering up.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Armor KO. All good.
Double KO. That's 3.
Good on you, Tony.
Nice deep freeze.
Nothing like seeing her perform live.
Will not survive without our help. Go.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Looks good on you, Tony.
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Spring in my step.
Maximum pulse.
Deep freeze.
Armed and dangerous.
Powering up.
Again.
I got it. Taking out Star-Lord was satisfying.
Our enemies are here.
Double KO.
I hope Friday got that on video.
Yggdrasil. Pentagram of
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.